Hey there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a Suzuki Cappuccino, the tiny little K-car convertible with a turbo 660cc 64 horsepower engine and rear wheel drive. As far as enthusiast K-cars go, this is probably the most popular, along with the AZ1 and the Beat and maybe even the Copen. They only made this for one generation, sadly, and it is really a shame because it is a very cool car indeed. Open up the top, the hard top, and this thing here rotates down in to give you a full convertible, and you sit almost right on the rear wheels. Driving this must be something like driving a Lotus 7, because it is extremely light, somewhere in the 600 kilogram weight. And yeah, 64 horsepower turbo, 660cc. Now they come with the F6A or the K6A engines. This one here is an early model, so the F6A. And it looks like this was a previous race car, because it has a few things that would make you think that. Look at this, revs to 8,500, so sort of like a motorcycle, not really, but sort of. And it is made by Suzuki, so they do know how to make motorcycle engines. I have to say, the F6A must be one of the best K-car engines that there are, and it's also in the Alto Works and the K Works and several other vehicles, as well as snowmobiles, of all things. And tiny little engine, it almost looks like you can grab in there and pick it up. It is a twin cam engine, and the oil and the coolant on this one both look fine. Comes with a aftermarket but factory strut tower brace. It also has aftermarket suspension, and besides that, the engine room looks pretty much stock. Oh, we have a grounding kit right here for some reason. Not sure why people in Japan seem to love the grounding kits. Okay, I'll close the hood here and we'll take a look at the condition of the vehicle. I believe this one's going to the USA. I just want to check the sheet because I shot one today that's going to Australia. And in the video I was like, yep, this one's going to the USA. So yeah, this one's going over to Jacksonville. Here's the auction inspection sheet. I'll quickly translate this for you. So it's a 1992 Cappuccino. I think that's the first year of these, is 92. I think so. Could be wrong. This is the base grade. I don't even know if there were more than one grade, but if you had nothing to write here, you usually would write base grade. 660cc is basically like a 0.7 or 66% of a liter. Auction grade R, because it's been in an accident. And interior grade C. This one here has unknown mileage. See the star next to the mileage there. And that's because it has a 5-digit odometer. And the odometer has probably gone around one time, is what the auction says. So 174,695 kilometers. We're getting out of the way of the Forester, because if I'm going to be hit by a car, it's not going to be a Forester. Okay, original beige, or I guess champagne gold you can call this color. The sales points here are purchased from user. They say garage kept, but that was crossed out because there's really no way to prove it. And you can't write a sales point unless it's provable. Aftermarket adjustable suspension, Cusco LSD Type RS. It's actually a two-way LSD, which is kind of cool. Usually, I don't know, would you go with a two-way? I'm trying to think. Two-way, I guess, would be extra. I don't want to say it because I don't want to be wrong, but it is a short wheelbase light car. And the difference between a one-way and a two-way is a one-way works under acceleration, and a two-way works under acceleration and braking. And so it makes it a little bit harder to turn in if you do have a two-way. Anyway, stainless steel mesh brake hoses, aftermarket wheels, floor tunnel something. Oh geez, I can't read. Maybe it's an underbrace. Yeah, there is an underbrace under there. The entire length of the drive shaft tunnel has aluminum brace in it. Cool. I bet that works wonders because open top cars, especially lightweight ones, don't have very good rigidity. Mind you, they do have really deep sills, just like a Lotus Elise. It goes down like 25 centimeters. Makes it a little bit of a challenge to get in and out of, but nothing like an Elise, really. Anyways, strut tower bar, we already showed you that. What else is this? Boost gauge, aftermarket steering wheel, A rear strut tower brace, you can see it through here. And a rear brace is nice because it gives you better turn in while you're racing. What else we got? Aftermarket shift knob, grounding kit, aftermarket plug wires, front lip spoiler, makes the front look better. Original... I can't really read that. It says, can be sent later, original shock absorbers, spare tires, diff, tools, jack, floor mats, and roof cover, like the sleeves for these, I guess. I don't know why those aren't included in the car. It's kind of annoying, but anyway. So, report here, the report section. Front accident has been repaired. It's a 5-digit odometer, so it's rolled around once. Probably rolled around once. Dashboard has screw holes in it. They've been filled, so it's not too bad. Seat ripped. It's ripped pretty badly, and it's a known issue with this. Right front power window doesn't work. It's a bad switch. I could get it to roll down a bit, but then it got stuck open, and then I wiggled and wiggled and wiggled, and eventually it decided to go up. So it's a bad contact in the switch. The regulator has no issue at all. Okay, exhaust leak. Seems like it's on the can at the back, so you can replace that. It is the original exhaust on the car. Headliner comes down and is ripped. Body has paint fade, paint peeling, clear coat, scratches. So yeah, basically needs new paint, unfortunately. And remember, this is all the details that we knew about the car before bidding on it. Core support, left front inner panel and front side member have been replaced. You can tell it is off a little bit. In terms of visuals of having been in an accident, I'd give it maybe a 4 out of 10. It's not near the worst. And so, yeah, and if you don't want that, then don't bid on the R grades. Let me see. Because it's a 5-digit odometer, the gauges have maybe rolled around once, but it's being sold as a mileage unknown car. Various scratches, dents, and repairs. Paint peeling, spare tire missing, U2, replaced, and U1 in the trunk. I think the U1 in the trunk should maybe be a U2. Anyway, sorry that took so long. There were a lot of comments to talk about there. So let's have a once around. Must say this lip gives the front end a really nice look to it. I guess you can cut out those little bits if you want to brake cooling. The wheels are 14-inch, and they look like a nice lightweight wheel. Tires on it are from 2007, and they still have tread on them, and they're a semi-slick tire, a Potenza RE01R, which is no longer a tire that you can buy. So most likely this was somebody's track car that they would only take out on the track, and the K car is the perfect vehicle to do that with here in Japan, because a regular car, like everything that's in there, you have to register your parking spot. And because you have to register parking spots for the car, you can't just park a car anywhere or at a friend's house or something. The parking spot needs to be within 2 kilometers of your house. And you have to pay for it a lot. Like we pay, let's see, for our 2 parking spots, we probably pay $300 for them. And then the BB parking spot is $170 a month. The other BB parking spot is the same. Yeah, it gets expensive. If you've got a K car, you don't need a parking spot. You can park it wherever you want. You can park it on the grass of your lawn if you have some. And that makes it a lot cheaper for a race car. And then a lot of the tracks here in Japan are pretty tight and narrow. And so if you have something like this, then driving skill is more important than outright power on a lot of these tight tracks. Okay, so defects. Headlights are a little bit foggy. Plus there's some substance on them, white dots. Front lip has a lot of rock chips. It looks like whoever painted it probably painted it with just a few coats of spray paint that was color match on the body, because it doesn't look like the bumper has the same issue. Okay, hood looks okay. Front fender here, there are a few dents. I got another video that goes along with this that shows all of the dents. Coming down here, here's some of that paint fade. There's more of it here. And it really depends on the angle and how the sun hits it. You see how you can see the paint fade there, or what looks like scratches, but then once my shadow's on it, you can't see them as much. So they really stand out more in the sun. Have a look there. And they're gone. And they're back again. Yeah, and it's kind of all over. Plus, champagne gold, that's a fine color. But it is such an outrageous car that you're going to want something that really stands out. I think it would look really good in white, maybe with some racing stripes. I think it would look even better if it were in something bright orange or yellow or lime green or a baby blue. Yeah. Now, you can run the car as a T-top if you leave that center panel in. I'm not sure why you would want to do that when you could just remove all of them and have a Targa with this back piece up, or you can rotate it back and have that as the full convertible. Okay. So, on to the interior. Let me just show you the trunk first, actually. Now, the trunk doesn't have a trunk pop like most vehicles, so you actually have to stick the key in, which can be a little bit annoying. Cappuccino is such a great name for this, too. Yeah, and I guess the replacement for this is the Copen, which is also made by Suzuki. The Copen is front-wheel drive, though. There are very few rear-wheel drive K cars. There's basically this, the Beat, and the AZ1. But the Beat and the AZ1 are kind of front-wheel drive because they're, well, they're not kind of front-wheel drive. They're transversely mounted mid-engines, and so therefore they have a similar setup as a front-wheel drive with the engine and the drive shafts right together. Now, this is the only one that actually has a long drive shaft that goes from the front to the back, as far as I know. Okay, into the car, the headliner. Only one of the panels has an issue. This one's okay, the center one's okay, and then that one is all messed up. Okay. The door cards are in good shape, and take a look at this. They've got these little aftermarket pads, and if you know Initial D, you've maybe seen these. They put them in the car to rest your knee against when you're cornering quickly. So it gives you a little bit more support. Kind of semi-popular, but you don't see it that often these days. There's your rip in the seat. Right there at the seam that has ripped a little bit in. It is not real leather. And this section here has been ripped as well. The seats are semi-comfortable. I would recommend this car for nobody taller than 6 feet, but you could do it if you are okay in a tight area. I'm 5'10", and I have no problem at all. You don't have any power steering, which can be good. It is a very lightweight car, and it's very easy to steer. It is a little bit harder at a standstill, though. You have the tachometer right in the middle, which is exactly where you want it. That gives you the most important gauge as the easiest to see. Here's your boost gauge. It kind of looks like a factory one or a very old school one. Okay. So, dashboard screw holes. One here, here, and here, but they've been filled. And then 2 more here. This vent piece is broken. Okay, you do have AC in it. And the AC works. This is a mini disc player. They were very popular in Japan during the 2000s. Teeny little ashtray. Has been smoked in. It doesn't smell like cigarettes. And a Razzo shift knob here with a little bit of peeling on the shaft. I've taped this up so nobody makes the same mistake as I did. That's my tape. Okay, Lonza pedal covers. Come on, get some focus. Focus, Derek. I mean, yeah. Okay, this part here has peeled away. It says Cappuccino. Down here as well is peeled away. There's a cushion for the passenger. I'm not sure why. These seats aren't bad. I prefer a firm seat. Plus, this is a firm cushion, so kind of weird. I have driven these for several hours and didn't feel that there was so much of a problem with the seat. Okay, so front here is a little bit off. I think I already mentioned that, but it is somewhat noticeable. And I guess we're going to wrap it up here. So as usual, if you have any questions, I'd like to hear from you. You can post them in the comments section. Sometimes we read them and reply if we can. We tend to be pretty busy selling cars, but that is that. If you need anything from me, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.